This is Joanne Tan. I have 4 questions for Elon Musk about science and humanity, life on Mars and Earth, open source information age, and a lot more. Question number 1. Elon, why don't you start a charitable foundation with open source accounting yourself if you rightfully don't trust bureaucracies like the United Nations? Question number 2. If you don't want a dog-eat-dog, beanstalks-burn-beans world, I'll explain about that later. Why don't you create an alternative digital open forum for people to freely help and give to one another and come together to save our Earth? Isn't this more important and meaningful than sending humans to the barren and lifeless Mars? What makes you think that the Martian environment will change humankind for the better? Question number 3. Do both. Uplift science and humanity, the yin and yang of each other. Can you and will you? Question number 4. Could you be my honored guest and answer more questions on interviews of notables and influencers? Elon Musk challenged the United Nations back. There was an altercation between Elon Musk and the United Nations World Food Program after WFP challenged Musk on Twitter to give them $6 billion to end world hunger, to which Musk replied, quote, "If WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it, but it must be open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent." I just love the way Elon Musk challenged back WFP, the Nobel Peace Prize winner of 2020, in his 2 sentences, true to his brand. Elon may not realize that the 3 words open source accounting he used in this context marked a profound change of 2 eras. We are stepping into the blockchain-enabled, open, direct, decentralized era. Open source accounting, open and traceable digital currency, open and transparent crowdfunding, open source information, open social media platforms, etc. We're leaving behind the old era of traditional banking, accounting, closed societies, top-down concentration of financial power in the hands of few, the command and control types of government, and the old ways of bureaucracies. Many traditional rules, systems, and organizations suitable for the last Industrial Revolution era are getting less and less pertinent to today's information age. The old-fashioned trust and reverence are slowly and surely eroding for the national government and traditional banking system, even for institutions like the UN, as the information age empowers people with technology and individual autonomy. You can see my interview of Tim Draper. Ask ourselves, if we have a choice between donating to an institution that does not allow donors to see how their donation money is spent, and an open source fund with open source accounting, which would you choose? I'm sure you prefer the latter. So my first question for Elon, why don't you start a charitable foundation with open source accounting yourself if you rightfully don't trust bureaucracies like the United Nations? Put your money where your mouth is. Education is paramount in this information age. Elon's next tweet might have answered my question. It was not an accident that Elon Musk started tweeting about establishing the Texas Institute of Science and Technology. Teaching people how to fish is a better way to elevate people from poverty than mere handouts. In the age of ubiquitous information, disinformation, and misinformation at our fingertips, analytical skills for independent and critical thinking can only be learned through higher education. As information digitization and digitalization is bringing our world closer together, more open and decentralized, higher levels of education for all people is vital for holding our society together. Democratization of digitalization, blockchain, and open source technology not only will bring the beginning of the end of wasteful bureaucracies, it will also bring more freedom, power and self-governance to individuals. Welcome to the new world order of democratization of digitalization. It can be the best of times. It can be the worst of times. Individual freedom requires making choices. Self-governing requires self-control, EQ and IQ. Freedom is not lawlessness, selfishness, and anarchy. More individual freedom does not diminish or threaten governmental power, at least in theory. Government's lawmaking, tax and spend powers will always play huge roles, even in the most decentralized digital civilization in the future. Large bureaucracies like the UN will have to evolve. Technology may enable better partnership between the public and the private sectors. Elon Musk quoted a Chinese poem. This poem, composed more than 1,000 years ago in ancient China, was tweeted in Chinese by Elon Musk, and he put an English title, Humankind, to this originally titleless Chinese poem, which is translated as cooking beans by burning beanstalks. Beans are crying inside the pot. We are born from the same roots. Why are you so eager burning me hot? This is translated by me, which is a lot less wordy in Chinese, and I think sounds better too in its original language. 煮豆燃豆萁，豆在釜中泣。本是同根生，相煎何太急。What do you think? So my second question for Elon, if you don't want a dog-eat-dog, beanstalks-burn-beans world, why don't you create an alternative digital open forum for people to freely help and give to each other and come together to save our planet? Isn't this more important and more challenging than sending humans to the barren and hostile red planet Mars? What makes you think that the Martian environment will change humankind for the better? Bonus question. You don't have to answer it, Elon. Did you post the poem yourself, or with the help of a bilingual friend? I challenge you to read it out loud in Mandarin Chinese, just like what I did. Can you? Question number 3. Do both uplift science and humanity, the yin and yang of each other? Can you? Will you? They come hand in hand, technology and humanity. Technology serves humanity. So while you are gazing at Mars from your starbase, can you also do the harder, down-to-earth work of improving humanity and saving our planet? I believe that you can do both, and you must do both. After all, humanity has invested so much resource and hope in your hand and in your heart. Improving both humanity and science will make you a wholesome person. It will be the perfect period, marking a lasting legacy. Just like the universities, hospitals, the arts, and many other courses supported by the Industrial Revolution's villains as well as heroes, such as John D. Rockefeller, Andrew W. Mellon, Andrew Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and today by Bill Gates and many other multi-billionaires. Elon, you don't have to do it exactly their ways. You can do it your ways. Perhaps with better innovation, with green tech, blue tech, whatever. Exactly how, when, what, in what sequence and priority, and in what exact areas are entirely up to you. I'm not guilt-tripping or moralizing you here. I'd like to see your brand soaring with both wings, technology and humanity. Question number 4, inviting Elon Musk to talk on interviews of notables and influencers. Elon, I have many questions for you. Questions related to metaphysics, global economy, innovation, climate change, human nature, the arts, cultures, AI, and the universe, the multiverse, the Big Bang, the black hole, your vision for human fate, for the future of our planet. Will you be my honored guest on a podcast and video series, interviews of notables and influencers? A question for myself. What does the above have anything to do with brand building? The answer is everything. The purpose and fulfillment in building a brand is to let people own the hope of a better version of themselves. Escaping our planet, literally and physically, will not bring out our own better angels. We must take up the cross and work on ourselves introspectively here on earth, for humankind's own fate, for all lives on earth, and for our own home planet's future. Please follow us on social media, hashtag 10plusbrand, hashtag 10plusinterviews, hashtag be your own brand, hashtag be your own superpower, and hashtag we are better angels. Thank you.